Hi everyone, welcome to Woodfired Weekly at Manna from Devon Cooking School. This week we're going to be using the Morso Forno oven to cook a fruit galette. This has been recommended to us by our good friends and ex-students from Tasmania, David and Elizabeth. And we love to keep in touch with all of our ex-students and see what they're up to and get them to send us photos and ideas for things to cook in the wood-fired oven. And this is one they've sent all the way from Tasmania, where they said they cook it with whatever's in season, stone fruit, apples, pears, whatever it may be. So we've taken them at their word, and we have a mix here of plums and some flat peaches. And we're going to toss those in a bowl with some corn flour. And that's going to help suck up all those juices that come out of the fruit and turn it into a nice thick sauce. So that can go in there along with some sugar. We've got a little bit of demerara sugar. If you fancied a little bit of cinnamon in there, a little bit of ground spice, whatever you like, that would also be good. And I'm just going to give those a toss around and make sure all the fruit has got a little bit of sugar and corn flour on it. Beautiful. Now pastry, we've got some short crust pastry here. And I'm going to roll this out to a nice big disc. And the galette is a simple tart with the edges folded in and over the filling. So we certainly want it a couple of inches bigger than our finished pie intends to be. And my finished size wants to be really no bigger than this sheet of silicone, because that's what I'm going to cook it on. So we can go just a little bit more. And to make sure it's easy later, once it's got some weight on it, I'm going to slide the silicone under there now. Making sure it's more or less central. And then onto there goes all of the fruit. Arranged in more or less of a circle. And then I'm going to fold the edges in. And if you can see, I'm just sort of doing a little pleat as I go, so that the pastry all lies kind of flat around the fruit, like that. Hopefully I did a good job there, Elizabeth. Now we want a little bit of egg wash around the edges. Okay, the galette is ready. I'll just tell you how we've got the oven set up. So I've had a few occasions where I found that having baked a pie on the base of the Morso Forno, I've had slightly undercooked dough on the bottom of my pastry because there hasn't been enough heat in the floor. So what I've taken to doing now is to preheat a flat cast iron plate, the Morso fry plate actually, to make sure that I get a really nice source of heat directly under the bottom of the pastry. A final sprinkle of demerara sugar and into the oven. And now you see the use of the silicone, it just allows me to slide it straight onto the hot fry plate. Now I've got a nice bed of embers there, that'll keep the temperature up. I can pop the door on with just the bed of embers or with a very small fire, but I don't want much more than that, otherwise I'll burn the sugar on the fruit and on top of the pastry. So I'd expect that to all take sort of 25-30 minutes in the oven, and we'll just keep a little fire tickling over to make sure we've got sufficient heat. The galette's had coming up for 20 minutes. I've given it a couple of turns so it's cooking evenly, and I've just kept a small fire burning in the oven. We're going to have a quick look. Pastry's looking nice and getting some colour on it, starting to firm up, and I just want to feel the fruit and check that that is softening and breaking down nicely. Lovely. So I think we're okay for another 10 minutes. As long as the oven doesn't get too hot and we don't start to burn the pastry, that should be fine. We've now had a full 30 minutes in the oven, so that should be plenty for the pastry and the fruit. Everything is looking spot on there. Fruit is nice and soft. We've got this nice thick sauce, thickened up by the corn flour and the sugar and the fruit juices all mixing together. and the pastry feels nice and firm and cooked. There's our fruit galette cooked in the Morso Forno oven, in this case plums and flat peaches. If you've enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you'd like to receive a video every week, and we'll provide notes and the recipe for this week's video on our blog and put a link to that in the notes below. Thanks for watching, see you next time.